The number one way to destroy your confidence, quality of life, and progress towards your goals and dreams is by caring too much about what other people think. So in this video, that's exactly what we're going to talk about. I'm going to give you some really good tips that have worked for me in caring less about what everyone thinks and living the life that you love to live whilst being true to yourself. Before we begin, make sure to destroy the like button, subscribe to the channel, and ding dong, hit the notification bell so you can see when I release a new video every Monday, baby. Let's get into this video. How to stop caring so much about what other people think and live life the way you want to live it. Firstly, I want you to consider how much peace do you lose caring so much about what other people think. You see, if you want to make this change, this is not just a normal YouTube video where you watch it, you go away, you watch another and you do nothing. I want you to actually make a change in your life. So first thing is, consider the cost of caring so much. What does it cost you? What are some things that you haven't started yet that you would love to begin because you're so worried and concerned about what other people might think? What are some opportunities that maybe you've missed out on, that you've destroyed, that you've lost? Relationships, whatever it might be. What have been the costs until this moment from caring so much about what other people think, and what is it costing you right now? How much peace? Do you get anxious? Yeah, do you get anxious? Always concerned about what other people are going to think or say about you? You see, awareness is underrated. Once you become aware, and I'm saying this not just because I read it in a book or something, I'm saying this because this made a massive change in my life. I became aware of how much the anxiety that I experienced was actually rooted in self-image problems. Yeah, how I'm being seen by you, how someone else might see me uploading this video. If I put it out there, what if it's seen by someone that I know, maybe a close family member? They hear me talking about porn, they hear me talking about masturbation, they hear me talking about smoking weed. What might they think? I don't want them to think of me in a way that is not to my liking, so this would cause anxiety. Now, when I became aware of this, wow, so much started to change because I could start to interrupt that pattern. Every time I would get anxious, every time I would feel scared to take action or to do something, to create, to express, to be honest, all because what? I'm afraid of what you think about me. I'm afraid of how you perceive me. This is self-image, okay? So start to create more awareness. A way that you can do that is through regular meditation, but beyond that is journaling and a life where you practice mindfulness moment to moment to moment, because then you become so much more aware of your thoughts and your feelings and your actions and your patterns throughout day-to-day life. So become aware more than ever on how your self-image is causing you suffering, and decide, do you want to continue to suffer unnecessarily, or do you want to aim to somewhat decrease and reduce suffering as much as you can in this life so you can enjoy it, so you can appear, you can show up and arrive at your best? Yeah, a big part of my journey was all about making the decision that I wanted to eradicate unnecessary suffering from my life and from the children of the future and from the people that I love, if I can help. But more so, the suffering in my own life that was unnecessary, okay? I believe that we're here to be at peace. I believe that we're here to experience positive emotions. Yes, we got to be disciplined. Yes, we got to put our nose to the grindstone. You see that big nose? It's been near the grindstone. We got to sweat, we got to hurt, but that's necessary suffering. I'm talking about unnecessary suffering. Getting all, ooh, what are they going to think of me if they see me doing these weird pull-ups in the gym? Or these lizard crawls on the ground? What are you going to think of me if I release a video, even though I really want to do that? Or I start a business, or I put out whatever it is. You get me? So eradicate unnecessary suffering. Decide that you want to do that, and understand how so much unnecessary suffering is rooted in your self-image, and more so your attachment to your self-image and how much you care about your self-image. The next thing I'm going to share with you is a very powerful one that I came to understand on a deeper level in 2022. This is that the subconscious mind is running the show. Okay, 95% of our behaviors, 95, let me rewind. 95% of our behaviors are operated by our subconscious mind. Now, the subconscious mind is not in the forefront of your mind, it's operating in the background. For example, you're breathing right now, aren't you? Maybe now you start to breathe consciously, but before I asked you about breathing, you were unconscious. It was a subconscious process taking place. Let's take it a little bit deeper. Your blood is flowing through your veins right now, isn't it? Your blood's flowing through your veins. Now, you're not conscious of this. You can't necessarily feel it yet, unless you're a deep meditator. But your blood is flowing nonetheless. Are you doing this? Are you doing it? So the subconscious is taking care of all these things. And of course, well, maybe not so obviously, I'm a firm believer now, though, that this is all the will of the divine. Okay, this is all the will of God. Allah. Okay, the creator of the subconscious. So blood's flowing through your veins, cells are reproducing, cells are dying, all kinds of things are happening. The body fluid is being produced, saliva, digestion. You're not doing any of these things. This is subconscious. Now, these are autonomic processes, things that are happening in the background. But what about other things like our behaviors? And what about our emotions? Well, a lot of those are rooted in our subconscious. And the subconscious, here's an interesting thing about it, is a memory store. So memory is stored within the subconscious, and then our body's processes and our mind's processes and our nervous system's processes can operate through the memory and the familiarity of our subconscious mind. And this is why, if you want to change a habit, it's going to feel really hard at first, and it might even feel scary, because survival starts to kick in. It's very important for our survival to have familiarity, okay? So when we threaten that familiarity with the unknown, oh baby, it's going to get scary. However, this is necessary suffering that we must experience if we want to change and evolve. So how does the subconscious mind come in when we're talking about caring so much about what other people think? If you were criticized a lot during your early years of life, right? This is going into the memory. If you were bullied, if you were picked on, if you were called names, if you were abused by your parents, your friends, your siblings, your teachers, whoever, the chances are very high that in the subconscious there is a feeling of being threatened, okay, and unsafe, especially in social situations. Now, a sense of approval is something that we really value deep down. Each and every one of us needs a sense of approval. And so this might be contradictory upon hearing it to this whole video, but that's really not the case, okay? Today's video is all about reducing unnecessary caring about what other people think, but there is a healthy amount of caring about what other people think, and this is rooted in our kind of primal nature. Okay, we have a primal tribalistic way about us, and so disapproval of the tribe increases the chances that you were exiled from the tribe. And if you get exiled because you're strongly disapproved of, then your chances of dying go way up because you're out in the wilderness by yourself. So on a primitive level, on a biological level, it is actually important for us to have the approval of others. And so in our early years of life, early years of life, if you experience strong disapproval, lack of safety in a social setting, then you'll grow up to be a kind of people pleaser. You'll grow up to be a person who's always thinking about what other people are thinking. You don't want to disappoint them. You don't want to cross them. You don't want them to see you in a negative way, because there's that subconscious program deeply rooted within you. Now, how can you identify this? And how can you see if this is something that's causing unnecessary suffering? This is where the power of rational thought comes in, because you can see if you're being irrational about something. Let's say, for example, you want to upload a YouTube video. Okay, I'll be honest, when I started uploading YouTube videos, and still even to this day, I might start to think, oh no, What are people going to think? Yeah. How might people disapprove of me? How might people criticize me? And let's say there are 15 comments that get put on this video. Let's try and get 100. And let's say one of those is negative. If I have a tendency to overly focus on the one negative one, then this is a clear sign. This is a clear sign that there is a subconscious limiting belief in there that says, I need to be seen in a good way. I care too much about what people think. Because how can that one negative comment lead to a world of anxiety or disappointment or guilt or sorrow? When there are 99 positive ones, it's not rational, okay? It's not rational. Rationally, it says, well, 99% of the people agree and like this content and only 1% of the population seem not to. That's okay, because that's nature, that's how it is. But if it stirs up a world of emotions in me, then there's something to be seen here. So that is actually something I've been working on. I put out some ads on Facebook for my coaching services, and some of the comments were crazy negative, man. And it left me feeling negative. It left me feeling sad. It left me feeling a bit anxious. And so I've been working through that. And I'm getting better at just being like, you know what? Let's see this rationally. Some people like it, some people don't. And that's the truth. Some people leave positive comments and send messages. Some people don't. Some people like to hate and troll. Okay, let it be. So the subconscious, if in your subconscious memory there is a strong memory of feeling disapproved of, feeling rejected, and that was very painful for you as a youngster, then you want to start facing rejection, right? This sounds paradoxical, but you've got to go into the thing that you're afraid of. You've got to go in towards it, okay? Because shying away from it is only going to reinforce that subconscious belief that rejection is super scary and super threatening and dangerous. Whereas in today's world, it's actually not that dangerous. You've got to get rejected, especially if you want to get honeys. You get me? Or yes, clients, yeah, success. It's all going to take facing rejection. So expose yourself to it, become desensitized somewhat to it, but this still doesn't solve the problem from the root, because if in the subconscious mind there's still a limiting belief of, oh, I'm not worthy if people think bad of me, then you got to start showing yourself that you are worthy. And so this leads to our third step, or our third tip, and that is self-acceptance and self-love. Okay, and this ain't no wishy-washy, marshmallow, fluffy thing. What I'm talking about here is real love, like you would love your child, like you would love someone, an animal, a pet, and giving that love to yourself. Now, what does that look like? It doesn't look like just sitting there with your hands on your heart. Yes, that's a part of it, visualizing and coming into your heart, because the heart is far beyond the physical organ alone. It's much more, it's a metaphysical organ. But self-love looks like looking after yourself. It looks like self-respect. It looks like moving away from social crowds that you don't want to be in anymore, and moving towards those who bring out the best in you, those who see the best in you, those that celebrate you while celebrating yourself. Acknowledging your victories, celebrating your victories, rewarding yourself in a way that's actually uplifting as opposed to sabotaging. These are all ways that you can show yourself love. Spending time with yourself, going out for a walk in nature by yourself, being alone but in real solitude, as opposed to being alone but in self-medication, okay? So self-meditation over self-medication. Meditate with yourself, be with yourself, get to know yourself, look yourself in the mirror, say, you, my friend, are a handsome man. Big ups. You know, when I finish in the gym, every time I finish in the gym, especially if it's a tough workout, I'll go up to the mirror and I'll just say, yo, touch me, bro. Respect, bro. I'll give myself a safe, I'll give myself a high five in the mirror. This is something that you can do to stop caring so much about what other people think. Why? Because it's not actually about what other people think. It's more about what you think of you. Oh, baby. It's not about what others think of you. It's about what you think of you. And so if someone says you're a loser and you believe that you're a loser, then it hurts. But if someone says that you're a loser, or someone says that you're ugly and you know that you're beautiful and that you're a champion, well, hey, it just, it's like water off a frog's back, they say. Yeah, I believe. I don't think I've ever used that term in my life before until now. So it's not about them. You think you're caring so much about what other people think, but really you're caring so much about what you think. And so this leads to the fourth. Yeah? And just before I move on to the fourth, like the video if you're getting value out of this. Make sure to subscribe. But also, consider how you're going to show yourself that self-love. Practical self-love. Doesn't have to be wishy-washy. Okay? Practical self-love. Maybe it's getting yourself new clothes. Maybe it's looking after your hygiene. Maybe it's getting yourself a haircut. Yeah. Maybe it's quitting one of the many addictions that you might be struggling with. Yeah. Maybe it's investing in yourself, in some help, in some mentorship, in some coaching. Maybe it's buying something that you've wanted for a long time, but you've been putting it off. Because you'd probably buy that for someone else, but not you, because you're just not worth it, are you? Yes, you are, my man. Yes, you are, bro. So show yourself that love. Let me know, let others know how you're going to show yourself that love in the comments right now. Scroll down, homie, and enter it in there. So let's move on to the fourth. I mentioned at the end of the third point there that when you care so much about what other people think, the problem is not actually them. The problem is that you agree with them. The problem is that if someone calls you a loser, or someone says you're boring, or someone says you're unattractive, or someone says you're fat, it's like you agree with them. Deep down you agree with them. So the problem is how you think about you. Okay? Now there's two layers that I want to talk about here. Two things that I want to consider when we approach this. Number one is a positive self-image. Right? You want to upgrade your self-image. You want to learn to believe and know that you are confident. One part of that, there's a sub part, is practicing affirmations and incantations. I am confident. Yeah. With your whole body, you say it, you speak it in the mirror, whilst you're driving, whilst you're walking, whatever, you're thinking it. I'm confident, I'm attractive, I'm successful, baby. I'm victorious, I'm a warrior. Positive self-image. But that alone is not enough. You've got to confirm your affirmation. You've got to confirm it. So create evidence. Do the hard things. Yeah. Do the hard work. Graft, grind, train, face rejection. Get the number. Yeah. Cook yourself good food. I am healthy. I am vibrant. I am vigorous. Create confirmation, create evidence that confirms your affirmation. Does that make sense? That's creating a positive self-image. The next is, and this is a byproduct of meditation, unidentifying from your thoughts. Once you know who you are, and this is even beyond the affirmations and stuff, this is you in your truth as a spiritual being having a human experience. You start to understand that you are not your thoughts. And so if someone thinks you're fat, someone calls you fat, if someone calls you ugly or stupid or whatever, and someone says this was a bad video, yeah? You are not your videos, you are not your things, you are not anything. You are something much deeper than a thing. Now this might sound a little trippy, but a lot of people, bare peeps, be taking substances to have the experience where they know this. Let me just tell you that you don't need to do that. I'm not advocating that. I'm a huge fan of monk style meditation, minimalist meditation. So when you observe your thoughts in meditation, yeah, this is a practical tip, practical technique that you can try out, okay? When you observe your thoughts, yeah, you sit in a comfortable posture, you observe your breath, and whatever thoughts come in, you allow them to enter. You don't fight them, You don't argue. You don't counter them. You just allow them to come in, okay? And you come back to the breath. Now, when you're not fighting with the thoughts, you're not trying to control them, you'll find that they just come and go, and they come and go, and they come and go. Now, here's the interesting thing is when you get really good at observing your thoughts, you can even silence the mind, right? You can silence the mind, and this is using a technique that I teach in my meditation course and my one-to-one coaching. You can silence it to a point where you're still there, but there's no thoughts. You're still there. You can practice meditation so deeply that your whole body, it's almost as if you don't know which finger's what finger because you're so still. You're like this maybe, you don't even know that your thumb is touching your finger anymore. It just dissolves. And so when you start to dissolve like that, it's like, well, I can't feel my body in distinctive parts, but I'm still here. So who are you? The point of what I'm saying here is that you are not your thoughts, okay? So caring less about what other people think is more about caring less about what you think whilst reinforcing a positive self-image. So there's those two sides to it. Positive self-image that you create and reinforce and create evidence for and confirmation. And detachment. Detach from the inner critic. Detach from the lower nature. Okay? Because every one of us has got a lower nature. Oh, believe me. Every one of us has got a lower nature. And if we identify with it, then when you get a weird thought coming into your mind, you'll think, oh, that's me. But it's not you, right? I used to have crazy thoughts coming into my mind. I was in primary school. I remember getting my work marked at the front of the class by the old woman who was the teacher. And I was just thinking about like spitting in her face, like punching her. Disturbing thought? No, just a thought. I'm being real with you here. I used to be afraid of thoughts like that. I used to think that having thoughts that were negative or scary or violent made me a bad person. But no, probably because I've just been watching some stuff I probably shouldn't have been watching as a kid, like scary movies and stuff, and violent TV shows and films or whatever. And so it just creates an image in the mind. It's like, okay, so what? So develop this stance. This is a mental stance, I call it. Develop this stance of not arseness. Yeah. Not arsedness. Really, it's called equanimity, okay? Equanimity means it's not good, it's not bad, it just is. Your thoughts aren't good or bad, they just are. Okay? I hope this is helping. Now we're almost there. I hope that you've got the attention span to really ride this video out through to the end and you enjoy it, because the attention span today is atrocious. And I know that you, though, oh, you're a sharp one, aren't you? You got a strong attention span, haven't you? So make sure you're taking some notes, or you're just watching this all the way through to the end. The next thing I want to share with you, the next tip about caring and stopping caring so much about what other people think, is to start taking yourself less seriously. In other words, stop taking yourself too seriously, okay? Have fun, crack jokes, play pranks, embarrass yourself. If you're afraid of embarrassment, like I used to be so afraid of, what I did was I went out in summer with friends and we pranked the hell out of people. We played pranks. We did it like you see YouTubers doing pranks on the streets and in the city centre and on university campus. We pranked people all day. We did the silliest stuff. Now, I became the first person to laugh at me. I became the first person to laugh with me, whilst the other person is absolutely confused or laughing at me. The point is that you override, you become desensitized to this, overly sensitive to embarrassment, to feeling embarrassed over every little thing, from taking yourself far too seriously. You get out there. This is probably why you can't speak to people. You lack social confidence. It's because you take yourself too seriously, man. Lighten up. Lighten up a little bit. Now, I'm not saying be a goof, be a loon, be a fluff, be a rainbow. I'm not saying that. I'm saying take yourself less seriously, but find that nice balance between knowing who you are and not giving a crap, man. Okay? When you take yourself too seriously, you get rigid. When you don't take yourself seriously at all, you become a pushover. So find that balance, work with it, and if you feel like you're too rigid, go and play some pranks. Okay? Go and have some jokes. Go and walk up to people like I used to. Go and walk up to strangers in the street, yeah, and ask for directions. Say, hey, I'm looking for the museum of toilet seats. I came here to Liverpool. I came to the city just to see the museum because I know that they got the new Flush 3000. Have you been there before? Would you like to go? Shall we go together? Check it out. Or do you think it's going to be shit? No pun intended, baby. Man's freestyling. So I just ask for directions to stupid places. Yeah. Or I'd say, excuse me, do you know where I can find this place, whatever shop or whatever place it was in the city centre? They point this way. I'd say, oh, okay, thank you. And I'd walk that way. Just for fun. Just to break my own ice. Okay? Because I was too rigid. Another thing I do is walk up to people, and being brown, this is very easy to do. So if you're brown watching this, but even if you're not, there's that many Europeans in the UK and all around the world, you just put on an accent. Put on a Russian accent. Put on a Pakistani Indian accent. Put on a different voice and just play. It's so funny, honestly. And you'll start to take yourself less seriously. You'll become less sensitive to how much people are caring about you because you know it's all good. You don't take yourself too seriously. You know what you're about. You've got a level of confidence. You're not identifying with the inner critic and those negative thoughts. You know that you are something far greater than that. Yeah. And so all of this comes together. See, all of this comes together, and this is everything, or at least a lot of the things that have helped me. They've helped me on my journey. Okay, I can't put it into words how much I would struggle caring what others thought. Okay, how much peace that would take from me. I'm still working on it today, but I've become a tremendous distance. So let me give you another one, yeah? Let me give you another one. In order to care less about what other people think, it's important to get clear on your values. What do you value? And let me give you some context. When I started training calisthenics, doing pull-ups, doing push-ups, doing handstands, I had to practice somewhere. Now, I wasn't only going to practice at home. Of course, I want to practice in the gym or outside. Now, if you're practicing in the gym or outside, there's going to be people. Oh no, what if they see me fail? The mind thought. I'm going to look like a fool. I'm going to look like a loser. You know that feeling when you go into the gym and you don't know what to do, right? Or you make a mistake, or you're worried about looking stupid. And so what, you just hold back or avoid the total exercise altogether. Let's say you don't know how to do clean and jerks. Yeah, you don't know how to do the Olympic clean and jerk. And so you'd rather just not do it because it will save you from looking like a fool, as opposed to looking like a bit of a fool, looking like a bit of a joker, looking like someone who doesn't know what he's doing, but making progress. So I started to value progress, gains, more than the approval of others. You see how this flips things around. When you start to care more about your gains, when you start to care more about how much better you're getting, how much you're improving, your handstands leveling up, your pull-ups are leveling up, your Olympic lifts are leveling up, whatever it is, you would have traded that. You probably do trade that for being seen as okay by other people. Here's the interesting thing. You're nothing special in other people's eyes if you're playing it comfortable. In fact, another paradox is the more you are willing to look stupid, the more you're willing to fail and fall in front of other people, the more they respect you and the more that they're inspired by you. Oh man, trust me on that one. So I know this because when I'm that person now. I'll do weird stuff in the gym. I'll be doing handstands, I'll be doing lizard walks, I'll be doing all kinds of things, okay, that break the rules. I'll get told off in the gym, sorry, you can't do that here. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm a resourceful man. I can always find some other way. I am one of those people now who, when I see someone doing something and failing and struggling, but doing it anyway, I respect them. I'm inspired. I see the character in that. Okay, focus more on your character, leveling up your character, because then you'll become a person that can see that. Which leads, in fact, to another point. And this is the mirror of one of the other points that I made, where I said, it's not so much about other people caring about you, it's about what you think of you. There's a mirror to this. You see, if you're the guy who sees someone trying something and failing and you laugh at them, you're projecting out how you would feel about yourself. This is deep. You're projecting how you would feel about yourself. And so if you see someone failing and you laugh and you criticize and you joke about them, you're just scared that someone would do that to you. And so you're taking the opportunity to target someone outside of yourself. But the truth is that you target yourself that way. You target yourself that way. You criticize yourself that way. You criticize others. Okay? So if you're laughing at someone for failing, if you laugh at someone for getting rejected, if you laugh and criticize someone for making a mistake, if you're so concerned with what other people are doing, if you're judging them, then the mirror is active and you'll be caring a lot about what other people are thinking about you, because it's a projection of your standard. Your standard is to criticize, so you project that out onto the whole world, and so everyone else's standard must be to criticize. But that's not the way it is. That's an illusion. And you'll know that's an illusion when you start to change yourself from within. And so when you stop judging other people so much, you won't be thinking about what other people are thinking about you. Does that make sense? We went a little bit deep on that one. When you stop judging other people so much, when you stop criticizing them for every little thing, every failure, every mistake, every slip, every fall, but you're willing to see the greatness in it, you're willing to see the character in it, then you'll be able to see that in yourself, okay? The outside world is a mirror, it's a mirror projection of who we are. So when you change yourself and you make those changes from within, you start to experience those changes without. You won't even be thinking about how other people are thinking about you when you stop thinking so much about other people. Can you say that fast? Can you say it 10 times really quickly? Okay, so make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Like I said, Monday, 6:30 p.m. videos every week. We're staying consistent on it. Check out this video as well. I'm sure it will help you out and I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Much love to you. Peace out.